Hey, good morning. Welcome to another great edition of the Flight Plan. We've got some good stuff I want to share with you today. Um, uh, we've been out riding around. We're actually coming from Austin this morning. We're staying at this nice little RV park. I'm coming here from the nice little cockpit of our home for the last couple days. We've been putting a lot of things together and kind of planning our second half of the 2024 season. And so as we break this down from an annual down to quarterly, 6 months, even the weekly things that we're talking about through these flight plans that we're going over. Today, what I really want to talk about is the recipe for success. What is the recipe for a real estate agent in order to be successful in this business? And again, units are going to vary from individual to individual. Kind of for me, the annual goal that I always wanted to hit was 36 homes a year. That's 3 every month. Going back several years to the days of Keller Williams, when we were there, they taught a class called 36-12-3. Another friend of mine, Hank of Inc., who's another great real estate coach, he teaches a class called 36 to Life. So there's something to that magical number. And when you look at how that calculation worked out from Keller Williams, it was 36 homes a year. Was a fantastic year. Shifting into our time at EXP, hitting those icon goals was approximately that. In order to hit your icon number, you had to reach your cap for the year, which was a $16,000 cap. So depending on the number of closings that you had there, on the average was about 12 to 13. On top of that, you had to close 20 additional units to hit their icon number. And this puts you in some elite category. I know Real has a very similar program with their elite agent deal. Here at LPT, we have a 35 unit year per year closing, and it's called a black badge. It gets you as one of the top agents within our company today. So just trying to look at what the recipe is for that type of production. If this is a goal of yours to close 3 homes a month, this would get you there. And keep in mind, this is an average. You might have some months that you're working on vacation or you're doing something that's a little bit different, and that's okay. You just have to make sure you're adding your units in the busier months and through April through the July timeframe. So the recipe for this success, and I went back and I looked at kind of what my averages are in closings. My average sales price has hovered around that $350,000 number. So based on some concessions here or there, let's just say that was a $10,000 average gross commission income. And if I hit that 36 units or 35 units a year, my gross commission income would be around $350,000. And hitting that particular number, I would obviously have some broker expenses, I would have some marketing and expenses, I would have some other things to help me operate my business. But I felt like at that number, it would potentially net me at $250,000 a year. So what's the recipe to get there? What are the things that you need to do to, quote, bake your cake? And just like baking a cake, you have to follow a certain order in the way the ingredients are put in so that the cake turns out nice. And then, only then when the cake is ready, can you work on the icing. And so what is your icing? What would be that above and beyond type thing that makes this thing really, really cool? So in doing a lot of stuff over the past couple days with kind of our planning for the second half, we kind of came up with a recipe for 36 homes per year. I actually reflected on a lot of my class work that we did in the 36-12-3 class with KW. And what we did is we basically came up with a goal. And in order to do this and to do it at a really high level, you have to have 50 touch points per year. And that seems like an awful lot, but with today's technology and automation and things that are out there, it should be something that could be pretty simple. So just recognizing that 5% of your database, if you want to become a referral-only agent and you want to just do closings from your database, you've got to do a couple of things. Networking has to be at a high level, or some type of internet marketing that would allow people to register with providing names and phone numbers. That would get you there. So if 5% of your database does a real estate transaction every single year. It's what we've talked through a lot of industry people, and that's kind of the running number that it is. So 5% of your database will close on a real estate transaction every year. That doesn't mean that your database, 100% of your database is going to close with you, but let's say you have roughly 40 to 50, 60. The conversion rates are going to be different from individual to individual. But let's just say you need to have roughly 700 to 800 people in your database in order to do it strictly from your database to hit this 36 magical number. So with 700 or 800 people in your database, you have to touch every single one of those 50 times. And how do you go about doing that? Well, you can calculate this through your followers, through your social networks, whether it's through Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you're the most comfortable reaching out to these folks. You need to make sure that each of them are seeing 10 of your posts every single year. So you've got to make sure that your social postings are hitting on a variety of topics so that they'll also be able to see that. And it's a great way to engage at a high level just on the get to know me. Who am I? I've got to have a great mix of not only personal type posts, but also the business style posts. So that lets them know what type of person that you are and whether or not they'd want to work with you and whether or not you mesh. And so you're not going to make it 100% with your database, and you're not going to touch every single person, every single way that's going to say they want to hire you. However, the good news is that we're going to continue to follow this recipe. So 10 social posts a year. We're actually going to give you more than 50 ideas here, but the goal is to do 50. 12 email newsletters. You can pick a lot of different ways to send out newsletters. A friend of mine, Richie Laser, has follow-up results. There's fees to all these things, but it goes back to that deal. Remember the math? If we could do $350,000 in GCI, and then we had our brokerage cost and we had our marketing expenses. This is all something you got to spend money to make a little bit of money. His is around $200 a month, and they will send out a newsletter on your behalf. If you want to take some time to create them on your own while you're building and ramping up your business, those are some things that you can work on as well. So right now, when you don't have a lot of sales, you have a lot of time. So it's in order to accomplish these things, it's either time or money. And the best way to do that is just to kind of set up something. Yesterday, I went through and kind of created my own little newsletter and stuff. So I started working on that. I've got my templates all laid out, and I did it through a product called Go High Level. Not everybody has that, but you can do it through Constant Contact, MailChimp. There's a lot of different resources out there for those types of things. Everybody needs to get a monthly home valuation or a market report, depending upon the website and the CRM tool that you're using. How great would it be to have everybody in your database getting something that related to the value of their property? Even market alerts. If you got buyers that maybe are tenants today, you need to make sure that they're getting something that says these are the things that are in these particular areas where homes are priced at, and kind of what the trends are. By keeping them on that monthly drip, they're seeing what homes are being priced out at. They know that if $350,000 could buy me this particular type of property, what would that buy me 12 months from now? And as they're tracking that, they're going to see that $350,000, the reduction of the square foot is getting smaller and smaller and smaller on an annual basis. I know that 10 years ago, $350,000 bought you, 2,500 to 3,500 square feet in a lot of places, and now $350,000 buys you a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 14 or 1,500 square foot house in our market. So, the price per square foot, as it increases, what your cap dollar amount is reducing the amount of square footage that you can buy. So those notifications help people understand that, and then they understand the market because they're seeing what's actually taking place. The next thing you need to do is 6 personal note cards. Now, that could come from a lot of different ways, but I mean, if you want to mail those out, I think that's a wonderful, wonderful way. Acknowledging the things that people are doing on a continued basis is huge in this business. If you can recognize some of the things that people are doing on social media, and then send them a personal note card, either applauding it or asking questions about it, or whether it's a child having some success at at an event that they did. Hey, man, it's wonderful, all the great things that your kids are doing. Or maybe it's something that they did personally, a trip that they went on. Those personal handwritten notes are magnificent in the development of the relationships type stuff. I mean, I know people that have built their real estate business just solely off of the cards. And you can send, the note cards can be birthday. They can also tie into Christmas. They can tie into other different types of holidays. Maybe now it's probably too late, but I mean, having a 4th of July type letter that goes out that says, hey man, congratulations on whatever's happened during the first half of the year, and we've got a time to celebrate for 4th of July. What are your plans, right? Create some of those types of engagements. Personal emails. This is not going to be just your basic, hey, let me send out a big bulk position on news, on some type of a, I can't even think of it off the top of my head here, but let's just say that you're going to send out a bulk email to a lot of people about a specific property that you have or a new listing. Those are great. However, you need to make these more personal too. So just the personal touch email, that's just you talking to them about life in general. And those are the types of things that also help create a better relationship. 6 text messages, setting up some different things. Imagine going through your database and just saying, hey, I just wanted to say hi. You can take these touch programs and break them down so that this is part of your lead generating strategy, and you can do this in 2 to 3 hours every single day, and it will deliver amazing results for you. 6 text messages, 4 direct messages. Imagine copying something that somebody's interested in. If you went and pulled up a profile and you know that somebody's very interested in soccer, and you found a great article that was written about something, or their kids are doing soccer stuff, sending them a link back to something that you found newsworthy is a great thing to do for people. You need to pick up the phone too. Imagine the phone call that comes in. I've called several people that I haven't talked to in a very long time, and it's fun just to kind of get caught up. Now those take a little bit longer. Those aren't your 2 or 3 minute type phone calls just to say hi or whatever, but those personal phone calls, and that's 4 per year. So once a quarter, you need to be reaching out to your database. And keep in mind, like we're going over this isn't what you got to do every day. This is just something that you've got to plan and set up so that over the course of a year's period of time, this will drive the 36 homes closed. 4 voicemail drops. There's a company called Sly Broadcast that does that. So imagine if you've got 700 people, or even starting off with 200 if you're trying to build and this becomes your target, but just being able to have a neat deal that says, hey, I was thinking about you today. Hope you're having a good one. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you type stuff. If you want to do some pop-by marketing, this is probably a local type thing for you. You're driving all over creation. But if you have their address, just drop by sometimes and leave something on their front porch. It doesn't matter what it is, just some item of value, something. Maybe you go out and you buy 1,000 pens and you want everybody to have a pen with your name on it. Maybe it's something that's a CMA direct for them, that where you can stop by and bring them something that they have literally on paper that could be pretty cool. Popeyes work out really well. Say you wanted to make some cookies for somebody, or you knew that somebody was having some challenges with a health related thing and you wanted to bring them just a meal of some sorts. Those are incredible things to continue to build this relationship business that we're in. The last thing on here is 2 client events a year. So client events are fabulous ways to bring all of your clients together so that they can share how wonderful of an agent that you are to the other people that are there. Oh, well, we love that one. It's something that we want to get back into doing, as well as the client event. And you can have a Christmas with Santa. You can have an Easter bunny deal. You can have an Easter egg hunt for the kids, or you can do pumpkin things in the fall. There's a ton of different things you can do. Even happy hours. Come grab a taco and a Dos Equis in May. I mean, those are some cool things that you can do for your clients. So just think of it this way: 50 touches every single year, some direct, some indirect, but at least they're seeing everything that you're doing at a really high level, and they're understanding that this is part of your business, the relationship side of things. So that's the recipe for success. It's a lot of things it's a very interactive recipe. It's something that takes involvement from you and the person that you're interacting with. And if you do this at a really high level, I promise you, you're going to get close or super exceed that 36 unit a year number. So I'm going to put this in the YouTube description with this in here too. If you've got any questions about how this works, please reach out to me. Just sitting here thinking through some of the things that are available. Mortgages are super important for people right now. It's a high consideration for a lot of things. If you've got buyers that are on the fence about buying a property because of the higher interest rates, there's some education pieces behind all this that I've been reading, where the interesting thing is that right now we don't have the inventory. We're seeing the number of properties listed at a lower number, which means that that's what's keeping our values higher. So imagine all of these buyers that are sitting on the sidelines today that are saying, well, I'm going to wait for interest rates to drop. Well, the problem is that the rates may drop, and when they do, the demand is going to go through the roof, which is going to continue to elevate those prices. So the good news is we've got a great connection with Tammy Goodman and the Loan People. If you've got somebody that wants to just kind of learn a little bit more about mortgages, learn about how the rates are and what the trends might look like, she's fabulous at answering those types of questions. She can kind of give you a lot of different options on how to handle your buyers and what kind of options they may have with their mortgages, and she puts them into the right mortgage. So reach out to Tammy Goodman, the Loan People. She's one of our great friends, and she kind of helps us with putting these things together. So we love being parked right next to her in our offices there in the Woodlands. So hope you guys are having a great flight this week. Go out and make it great. Fly high. Think about different ways that you can create this big touch plan for your business, and I promise you, hitting 50 touches a year will deliver results like you can't ever imagine. So break it down. If you want some one-on-one with this, reach out to me and we'll actually come up with a personalized plan for you. The best way to reach me is 281-960-1900, and let's figure out a way to get you to the top in your company, or if you've got some interest in possibly joining us here at our Eagle Nexus or in the LPT Realty, I'd love to chat with you about that too. Go make it great, have a great flight, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.